Well, being there wasn't that much could be said about silver in the video I put up earlier today, there's a more pressing point that I'd like to talk about. Years ago, as a matter of fact, it'll be exactly 50 years ago, I was doing graduate work in axiology, which is a branch of philosophy that deals with value theory. And I wrote my thesis on the relevance of the ecological factors in a theory of valuation. And it's not important that anybody remember that. But what is important is the necessity to maintain species. And in this in this work I did, I was credited with making two contributions to knowledge. And I will try to quickly explain what they are, but more important, I will try to explain the necessity of maintaining each and every species, regardless of which species it is. In the universe, and I'm positive we certainly aren't the only living things in the universe. I don't believe in aliens coming to the earth at any time or anything like that, but I do believe that the universe is so vast and what you require for life forms as we know them, and there might be forms that we don't even know, that there certainly are thousands, if not 10,000s or millions of other planets in the universe that have some kind of living being on. Now, the value in this is that only living things can give value. And the value they give is that they make a demand on their surroundings. And only living things do this. They have the necessity of eating, breathing, multiplying, etc. And no other thing does this. There are, well, if you want to reduce it down to pure causality, life is a chemical reaction, but it's such a unique one. The tendency of man is to try to anthropomorphize himself and make God and make man in God's image and all crazy stuff like that. But the reality is that each individual species has a peculiar repertoire of interests, and those interests are, of course, reproduction, oxidation, breathing in one form or another, and eating. So species can be defined by those necessities as well as it can be defined by DNA or by peculiar physical natures. So the necessity is that a universe with the greatest number of beings making the greatest number of unique demands, and the demand, as I said, is eating, breathing, multiplying, is the universe with the greatest value. And it's the individual demands that make the value a unique value as opposed to how many of each individual there are. The total number of individuals would certainly add to the total number of beings that are experiencing those things, breathing, multiplying, eating, etc. But the uniqueness, the universe with the greatest value, therefore, becomes the universe that has the greatest number of unique demands made upon it. And the demand is converted, meaning has interest, and the interest is the value. That's where the value comes in. And the other thing, that was the first the first part of the two points of knowledge, and the other is the unique ability of living things to alter over time, to evolve. And each thing that they evolve into also makes a unique demand. So we have to maintain species to, one, keep the number of value assigning things in the universe, and two, to maintain the ability for each of these value assigning beings to alter their being and become some new value assigning being. Therefore, in all simplicity, the universe with the greatest number of species is the universe that has the greatest value. And this comes from a paper that I wrote 50 years ago this spring. And they saw enough value in it to give me my graduate degree in it. But at the time, and I'm sure since then others may have said the same thing, but at the time it was a contribution to knowledge. I hope I didn't bore you too much, and let's think, we have to think that each species, whether it's 2 fleas on a dog's back or humans, present unique demands, i.e. values to the universe, and that we should do whatever we can find in our abilities to maintain as many of these things as possible if we want the universe to contain the greatest number of things that assign value. Therefore, the universe with the greatest number of species is the universe with the greatest value.